Hello, I'm Zachoj. Today I'm going to be going through Loomithar, a couple of tips on how to play better on this fight, do more damage, and some things you need to be looking out for. On Loomithar, I have a 9. The time of the kill, it was like even better. It was rank 2. It was done a couple of weeks ago. My VOD was from 26th of September, which is almost a month ago. Here is how I did that. I'll go over the talents. I have 2 rogues, by the way. These are both my rogues. I'll leave a link to the logs inside of the description. This is just fully regular single target trickster build. I don't think anything here is different. So let's get into the VOD. Notice on the opener, I'm going to be pressing all my CDs with my pot. So you see pot goes on CD, flag on CD. Something to note on Mythic of this fight, there are these pylons. This is the Mythic mechanic. If you do not know, you need to be soaking these pylons. So the way that your team is going to assign this, if you're using Northern Sky, it's the same way that ours did, where there's 2 separate groups that go into these soaks. On the first set, we have Varv, Inu, Somi, Lando. So these are decided with the marker inside of the note. So these people are going to be the first ones to grab it, and then the second people on the list are going to be the second one to grab it. The way that you play this is there's not always going to be a pillar, but it's always going to tell you to soak, which is why you saw the thing on my screen. Another big thing to mention, these tangles. So the amount of damage you can do on a tangle is very limited. You'll see the first dance that I do outside of my CDs is just onto the boss, but I'm positioning myself so that I can cleave with Nimble Flurry if the ad gets close enough. If your guild is still struggling on these tangles at this point, maybe you go Outlaw. You would be able to get more damage. You might also have to go and use that dance charge on that tangle. That's a good option if you need to do that for your team. But it honestly is someone else can have way more impact on that than you. So you see I have no dance here, so I run out, I rupture, and then I just start hitting it. So then the next part here is this big circle outrange. This will one-shot you. A way to do this well is that you should stay in with Cloak and just keep getting combo points and melees. I think it's really important to get this free uptime and not have the loss. If you are struggling and your healers are struggling to heal you during the tether, which is another mechanic on Mythic, there's a couple of players that are going to get targeted with a tether. So you see right now we are doing this soaking mechanic. It's basically this person stands here until they have 8 stacks, and then they walk away, and then the other person takes the rest of the 8 stacks. You see, I get the tether here. This is the most damage you can pretty much take in this P1 part. So I'm soaking, which is a ramping dot, and then I have the tether, which is also a ramping dot. This would have been really nice to have Cloak on, but we're so deep into this boss that it's just like, it's pretty free. I use health pot and health stone here just so I could get my damage off, which, you do. But if you are struggling with that and can't survive, then consider cloaking that, like just holding your cloak for being targeted with a tether. So you just keep doing this over and over. Like I said, if I have a set that I'm not going to press a dance on, I just run out, I rupture, then I just hit that as much as I can. And you see, like I said, I'm positioned so that my Nimble Flurry is hitting. I'm just as far away from the boss as I can. You run a 3 here with Sprint. This is the timing. That's a pretty safe timing. So this is a really good push timing. The boss is going to be phasing, you see right here, and 3%. It phases at 50%. And then once it fully drops down onto the ground, it's going to have it's either 33 or like 25%, whatever it is, it's a damage amp, and it's worth holding your CDs here. If you're in this exact situation as me, but the boss is at maybe like 52% or so, whatever it is, if your call on the boss is to commit and kill the boss, you should hold your CDs. Unless it looks like you need to do your CDs to fully commit. Like if you guys are fully committing and the tethers are going to go into the middle, you should just send a dance charge. And then the same idea where if you guys are pushing really, really late, then you can just send a dance charge because it'll be up by the time that you get into the amp. You see here, I'm just backstabbing. So I'm just spamming backstab to farm up Shadow Hand techniques and to keep proccing my Unseen Blade. Then you see, like I said, once the boss is fully on the ground, boom, now the damage amp is on her. You see this is the debuff for the damage amp. This just lasts the entire rest of the fight. You see I send my CDs, just start slamming, and then it's just the same way that you would hit a target dummy is the way that you do this fight. You'll see this pre-sped timer. This is based on the pushback. Once this pushback starts casting, you see all the way about to cast. You just want to press feint if you have that up. Like right here, we have something really, really good carrying us through this, and that happened every time, so I was just chilling. But the end of the spread mechanic does the most damage to you, and it's all feintable. So if you're ever in danger, feint is really, 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 really good on this. Like you'll see I probably do it here. Yeah, so I press as soon as it happens, I press my feint. So I get the feint on the initial hit and through the whole dot and on this last part. That one's really good for it. because you don't have to use your feint on this group soak, but on the group soak, you also just feint the group soak. That's how you just DR it. But then you'll see this, now that I feinted the group soak, now I have to feint this again with this circle. Something to mention as well, if you pre-cloak the circle, you won't get a circle, but if you cloak after you have the circle, it will blow up your circle. It'll do damage to the people inside of the radius of the circle. So keep that in mind if you're cloaking in this part. Something to mention here is we want one of two things. So we want our 5-minute to have our CDs up, or if we have our CDs up before the 5-minute, or it's going to survive until you get your next CD set, you want to hold your CDs or hold your pot for your CDs, which that's why I've just been holding this damage. I'm just chilling here, but then pot's ready and I just start blasting. So this is a humongous kill time, and this is the reason why this was a rank 2 kill, is because the push timing was really, really good. This boss kill timing was really, 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 really good. You'll notice I get almost all of the damage that I possibly could get out onto this boss here. I even get an Araz with a Ritual Forge, or an Araz with a Sectech with it. So just jam as much as you can into the end there, and you'll see that is why I did 6.2 mil. The boss timer is really, really, really important for this kill. That doesn't mean that you can't parse decently without a good kill timer. That's not an excuse to not be parsing at least. If you're getting a 90, that is just indicative of you pressing your buttons correctly. If you're getting a 90 without pressing your buttons correctly and you had good kill timers, then that means you might need to look into your rotation. But I would definitely say that I can consistently get a good parse on this boss without needing a timer like this. You just need to know what to do with your own timer to maximize the value. Let's say the boss was going to die earlier than I thought that it would. I would have definitely just sent my CDs here. You see, they're coming up at 450. So I hold my CDs for 10 seconds. I would have just sent my CDs as soon as I could. You could be in the part where it just kind of sucks and you don't have a timer like this. But if your guild is consistently killing faster than mine, it's probably worth to hold your pot entirely. If you're not getting 2 pots inside of the entire fight, you should hold your pot for the damage amp with your CDs with a stacked nether prism. That's something that you need to be considering on all these bosses. Is if it's a kill timer that you're not getting 2 pots, use a nether prism, which you should have a nether prism. If you don't, you need to go farm one, go buy one off of somebody in a normal raid, in a heroic raid. Really, really, really good trinket, and very flexible with how you use it. So like I said, with those 1 pot fights, you need to be getting the maximum value you can with your pot. Sorry, I didn't show this part, but you'll see I pre-cloak this one. So you see pre-spread here, then I press cloak before this goes out, and you see, boom, no circle. But if I waited till the end and then got the circle, then pressed cloak, I would be hitting this person right here. So I'd be cleaving them with my circle. That's the tank though, so it wouldn't have been a big deal in this exact case. But that's about it. I can go over the first 2 bosses as sub-rogue as well, because I've learned those as sub-rogue now, because I don't really feel like switching specs on Reclears and stuff. It's kind of a hassle to have to log out for the cold blood bug. It's just I don't know. But I definitely think that Assassination is probably better on Plexus. It's probably better on Loomithar. It's not better on Soulbinder, not better on Araz, not better on Soul Hunters. It is better on Fractalus. Salazar is looking interesting now that we're getting the boss into the we're starting to get closer to just killing the boss inside of the damage amp. So the more value you can get out of your execute on that boss, the better. It looks pretty good. So the Assassination you will do fine on all these bosses. There's even Dimensius kills with Assassination that are actually doing a lot of damage now. So I think the less that the living masses are important, and the less that the null binders are important, the less that there's just a ton of stuff that is making that change if you wanted to know. But yeah, let me know if you want a video for Soulbinder or Plexus as sub-rogue. I can go over those as well. I've done pretty well on these bosses. Even this Soulbinder was a pretty scuffed kill. This Plexus was also pretty scuffed. I just played it differently than I should have. I believe on the Plexus I potted the wrong timing. But I'll keep going over all these bosses. Araz will be next. You can look out for that. I had held rank 1 for quite some time. So yeah, look for Araz next. That will be the next video I make. And if you enjoy rogue content, I will be making tons of stuff coming up. And I consistently stream every single raid that I do. I stream Tuesday, potentially Thursday if we don't reclear on Tuesday. And then I have a different guild that I stream Friday, Saturday, Both of those are progression on the Friday, Saturday raid. I am now progressing Dimensius. We're locking out on Dimensius. This is the first guild. We just got our Reclear done. The first Reclear was last week. We got Hall of Fame. So this is really cool. I stream on both Twitch and YouTube. You see they're linked here. Twitch is just Zachoj 3, and then the YouTube is on this channel. GG's, have a good one.